I hope you're having a great morning, sir.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right, great. Um. Okay. So, musical elections was supposed to happen on Tuesday.
Yes, please.
What really happened?
Thank you very much. Greetings to you, everybody, and your listeners. Um, the election committee of the Musician Union of Ghana, were so prepared. We worked on everything, and we worked together with the Electoral Commission of Ghana. The Electoral Commission of Ghana um, sends all materials to the 10 old regions that Musica is operating. Um, and in the evening, a call came from the Electoral Commission of Ghana that they have received a court injunction that they cannot supervise the upcoming election, which was supposed to be yesterday on the 8th, that they received a letter on Monday. So I was called in the evening. So I have to also call all the election committee regional chairpersons and also inform the NEC that this is what we have heard from the Electoral Commission of Ghana. And constitutionally, if they cannot supervise the election, that means that we cannot conduct the election.
Okay, but is it not a worry that we keep postponing such an important elections like the musical elections?
Please, I can hardly hear you.
Sorry.
I can hardly hear you there.
Okay, I was asking, is it not a worry that we keep postponing musical elections?
Very, very worried because this election committee was formed in 2020, 10th September 2020. And we've worked court issues and other things, and we've been able to work so hard that on the 7th from morning and evening, we got the information. Even some of the election committee members were on their way, some to the northern part of Ghana, and we have to call them, and even delegates, because there wasn't going to be any proxy voting, so people have to travel to wherever region that they belong and also go and cast their vote, and this happened. So very, very worried.
Okay, so as the election committee chairman, how do you feel when you receive such instructions
Hello,
to
come again, sir.
I'm asking that as the election committee chairman, how do you feel when you receive such instructions from the electoral commission to postpone such elections?
Okay, if I heard you clear, then it's so sad to I don't know how the procedures at the court works, but to work very hard from 2020 up to this time, and people were ready, some traveling, even whatever risk that they are taking in traveling, and evening some on their way. Even yesterday, some people were at their centers, and even the police too were deployed to their post, and some police went to the venues, which it's a very hard thing. That's so worried.
Okay, I want to find out what was the last time Musica accounted for their stewardship. I understand it's one of the reasons why the injunction was played on the election.
Is that when they account?
What was the last time Musica rendered accounts for the stewardship?
Okay. With the account of the Musica, the election committee of Musica, we have our mandate or our function. So with the accounting of the union, I think we do not deal with that. But the only thing we do is that we submit our budget to the NEC to approve the budget for us. So that is what we did.
Okay, as it stands now, when are we likely to hold elections? Is it looking like all of this can be put behind us and we can go ahead and have elections? Because it's been postponed 5 times already.
Yes.
When can we hold the elections?
All right. Thank you very much. For now, since I think they are also working with consultation with them, calling them to find out the procedure, because that the defendants are the Musician Union of Ghana and the others. With the election committee, we are waiting for whatever procedures that the union would take, and also get back to officially write to the election committee of Musica, so we can also officially inform and also fix another date and inform the Electoral Commission of Ghana. So we are waiting, since now that they have received the court injunction. I think there have to be some responses or some engagement. So we are waiting for that. If it's at the short term, then I don't think we will waste much time after whatever hearing from the court. And if we are given the green light to go ahead, it wouldn't be too long. So we are done, because everything is done. A register has been sent to the Regional Electoral Commission of Ghana. They are directors in the 10 old regions that Musica is operating. So everything is set for the election, ballot papers and everything has been printed out. And so after the green light is given, then we wouldn't waste any more time to this.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Peter Marfo. He's the election committee chairman for Musica, and he's responding to the injunction that was placed on the Musica election. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That's so grateful. Thank you.
Great. So we heard the election committee chairman, Mr. Peter Marfo, who's been speaking about the injunction that has been placed on the Musica elections. In case you didn't know, this is the 5th time the elections is being postponed, and it's quite worrying for us as a music industry. Let me come into the studio and speak to my pandit gentleman. Good morning one more time.
Morning.
Let me start with you, Kwame Dazi. What are your thoughts on this particular issue? I know for sure that you are following the story and you know what has been going in and out 5 times already. What do you think about it?
Okay, so the first time the Musica election was postponed was July 10, 2019. After Obo left office, they were supposed to have had election in 26 June 2019. Then it was postponed to July 10, 2019, because Ras Caleb had taken them to court due to the fact that the voters register had some anomalies in them. Then the second postponement was in 2020. It was supposed to have been held on 24th June 2020, and they blamed it on COVID. The third one was...
They blamed it on COVID.
The third one was supposed to have been held on January to ensure free, fair, and transparent elections. Then it was postponed to February 23, 2022. Again, it was not held. We were not given reasons, but I did my checks and I got to know that there were some court issues regarding some executive members who were alleged to have, forged signatories to an account, and so they were in court for that. That was last year. Now the 5th one is this particular one, 8th August 2023, which has also been cancelled because of the court injunction over the failure to render accounts. Now, there are so many questions being asked as to whether it's in the constitution that if the union doesn't render accounts, they cannot hold elections. Yes, it's in the constitution that every year they need to render accounts. You need to render accounts for the previous year, every year. And so that is something that needs to be done, and it's in the constitution. But I tried going through the entire constitution to see if there is any provision in there that states that if they don't, if they don't render accounts maybe for a particular year, maybe 2, 3 years or 1 year, they cannot hold elections. And that I did not find that in the constitution. So again, I'm just asking questions. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have legal knowledge in anything. I'm just trying to be curious to know why, in the absence of that in the constitution, they could still go ahead to place an injunction on the election because supposedly they did not render accounts. Now, I also looked at the rates of summons and the statement of claim number 2. There is something there that bothered me a bit. Still asking questions. I don't know if people who know the law can even help us, because you look at the defendants. The first defendant is the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica. The second one is Vice Osekufo Obuo, who is a former president who handed over in 2019. But number 2 of the statement of claim.
Who left office in 2019?
Who left office? Yes.
He didn't hand over.
No,
He handed over to the neck. So Obuo handed over to the National Executive Council, and the council also appointed acting executive, which made Bessa Simons acting president.
Okay, cool.
All right. So that was in 2019. Now, the claim states that the number 2 said that the second defendant, which is Obuo, is the president of the first defendant, which is Musica. But as we speak now, Obuo is not president of Musica. So I'm wondering how Obuo has become president in this writ of summons. Maybe they have explanations. Maybe there are legal implications that I don't know about it.
Speaking of explanations, I have Daddy Bosco on the line, and we want to talk to him and ask him a few questions. You were asking questions about some things that were captured in the rate and all of that. So let's speak to Daddy Bosco and ask him what is really going on. He's the Director of Communications and Special Projects of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, and he's on the line. Good morning, sir.
Fine morning, bro.
I hope you are doing well this morning.
To God be the glory.
Thank you so much. We just want to find out a few things with regards to the injunction that has been placed on the Musica elections. It's been 5 postponements already, and industry people are asking questions. If your union can't appoint a president in 5 postponements, then what really is going on? I want to find out, how long has Mr. Bessa Simons been interim president?
So, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. Bessa has been president 2019.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said Bessa has been the acting president since 2019 when Obuo stepped down.
Okay, 2019. Okay. Is it not a worry that since Obuo left office, Musica has not been able to hold elections?
That's a very good question. What it is we were poised to go for the election, and as you indicated, we had to be interrupted 4 times this time. From where I stand, this case was thrown away because it has no merit, and the last ruling by the court indicated that since the union has an arbitration and disciplinary committee, as stipulated by our constitution, issues that require clarity, issues of conflict, like that should be handled by the arbitration committee. And so, for me, I don't think the unfortunate thing is the waste of people's time, resources, because all was set. The electoral commission was standby, all the aspirants were poised, and they have had the election on the day. But unfortunately, now that.
But have there been accounts? Have the accounts been rendered in the past years?
Good. The union, per our constitution, is supposed to render audited accounts at conference. These conferences, after our last conference, Cape Coast, 2018, were due to be held biennially, that means every 2 years. So 2018, 2020, we were due to have a conference, 2022, we were due to have a conference, and 2024, they are scheduled to have a next conference. So what it means is that these are the cases where we have, how do you call it, the audited account submitted to conference. Unfortunately, we have not gone to conference when last audited accounts were presented by the outgone president. So as we speak, it is that conference. For instance, the roadmap we're working off was that after this election in August, the newly elected officials will be inducted by the close of the month, and then stated by November we will have gone to a conference, and at conference the accounts rented. And then what would have happened is that the accounts would cover the period from 29 till date. So that is the issue with accounts. The union has a constitution which stipulates how you render account. Thank you.
Daddy, I am curious. What kind of cost goes into organizing such elections, and how are some of these things that you purchase or you put money into, how are they reusable in upcoming elections? Mind you, this elections has been postponed for 5 times. What kind of cost goes into this?
Thank you. So this is the first time the union happened a nationwide election where every paid up card bearing member of the union is entitled to cast their ballot. In the past, the model was that have a delegate Congress, and as Congress, representatives of each region participate in the vote in the national executives. And then in the regions, all card-bearing members who are paid up with that vote for their regional executives. This time we've taken a novel route. We're applying what is akin to a universal adult suffrage, where every card-bearing member can vote in his or her region. So we're not congregating at a single venue as in the past. This time, in every region, we'll have the regional ballot and the national ballot. So it's never happened before. It's the first time. When you talk about cost, since our constitution mandates that the Electoral Commission of Ghana should supervise the election, we work hand in hand with the Electoral Commission. When we initiated the process in 2019, for that election, we engaged them, they gave us a cost, and we paid them some amount. When we couldn't hold the election, since the Electoral Commission is a state institution, that money was saved with them. When we got the green light to have the election this time, between 2020 and now there's been different costing. So we had to do a top-up of that initial cost. As we speak now, all monies we paid for to the Electoral Commission for purposes of the election. Since the election hasn't taken place, those monies are still in the Electoral Commission. It is those costs that are, let me say, let me put it like TNT costs, which are not reimbursable. Those are the costs that we say what you call it. But as far as the Electoral Commission of Ghana is concerned, you've paid them. It is the work of the of the National Election Committee and the Regional Election Committee that because you did not have the election on Tuesday, they have to do any sitting again to prepare for the election again. Those are fresh costs that you may not have budgeted for. So you will have to generate to cover those costs.
Okay, Daddy. So what's the way forward now? What are your lawyers saying?
So since this is an interlocutory injunction, our lawyers will respond to it hopefully this week. And once they respond, we're positive that based on the evidence they provide and the precedent, the court discharge of the case and will have the green light to proceed with the election. I'm pretty optimistic that by the end of September we'll have duly elected have been inducted and preparing for conference.
Okay, Daddy. I think I have to let you go here. We are very grateful for your time, and then whenever we need you, I'm sure we'll call you to give us more updates on what's going on.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Daddy Bosco. And that was Daddy Bosco. He was the Director of Communications. He is the Director of Communications and Special Projects of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica. And he was speaking on the injunction that has been placed on the election 5 times already. Kwamdazi, kindly end what you were saying. And we were asking questions. Do you have any more questions to ask?
I'm not sure if I've gotten the answers I needed, because I wanted specific answers as to whether they do render accounts. When was the last time they rendered accounts to the union and all that? And I was asking questions as to why the Constitution doesn't state categorically that they cannot go to elections or for elections if they had not rendered accounts, but the rate states so. That is one question. And then why Obuo is mentioned in the rate as president of the union as of now, when we know he left office in 2019. These are the questions that I am actually asking. Apart from that, I think, there is nothing wrong with going to court. It's one of the ways of bringing sanity into system structures, organizations, and all that. It's better than you maybe going to rant on social media or going from one media house to the other. You do the right thing, go to court. That's okay. And so from 2019, since some aggrieved members took the union to court, talked about the voters register not being up to date and all that. Rascaleb, I thought initially he was just being too litigious, but later on I realized, okay, sometimes you may think this is worrying the union, but in a way it is cleaning the system up. So I admired him for that. We need to make sure that the right things are done. But I think we've gotten to a point in time where it is becoming too much. They are protracting the whole court issues here and there. Remember what happened to Gamro when they went to election, just a day before election. Other aggrieved members issued injunction or sought injunction to be placed on the elections just one day, but they held the election. Then later, the election was declared null and void, so they took all the positions back from the executive. That is why Rexomani's people now don't have any post in Gamro. So the same thing happening to Musica right now. Just one day to elections, 7th August, these two people decide to ask for injunction to be placed on the elections, and then so they could not hold the elections. Now, it is interesting to know that just the day before, I called Peter Marfo, who is the election committee chairman. I was asking him, I've seen some writs of summons on social media. I just want to confirm if you've seen them as well. I was okay, I've seen them, but they've not sent the union these summons. It was rather the EC that called us and told us that we cannot conduct the elections for you because we've received these writs of summons. So they could not do that. Now, my worry is that Musica at this point in time lacks luster. It's become more or less like just a white elephant, with its leaders almost always just gracing occasions and delivering speeches and presenting awards to people at ceremonies. That is what Musica has become now, just because of these back and forth court issues here and there, the fact that they don't have permanent leadership to do things for the union. I was expecting Musica to have gone beyond this level at a point in time where Obuo started. Aside all the bashing that we gave Obuo was able to institute Amway Fund for aging musicians. Okay, he was able to get us Musica Grand Ball, Musica Honors. We had Ghana Music Week. We had Musica Academy. All these things were in place, and I thought that if they had a very good, successive plan, would have had other people continue these legacies and then make them better. You, aside all the allegations, aside all the criticism, these were things that Obuo did that I think would have helped Musica if somebody else continued. Now look at Musica.
Can we wrap up for us, please?
There. A union since 1975, which doesn't even have a national office of their own, always patching. It's so sad that you go elsewhere in other parts of the country, of the world, go to the UK. The Musicians Union in the UK, go to America. These are unions that are fighting for their members, Sometimes they even give them legal advice, legal offers. Let's say you have issue with somebody, copyright issues. They give you free legal advice. If you have business, contractual difficulties, you go there, they give you experts who will guide you without taking you any fee.
30 seconds more. 30
insurance
seconds more.
and all that.
30 seconds
okay?
more.
But our Musica, for a long time, 1975, 1975. We are always going to court. We are sleeping in court almost every day. Court. So can't we solve some of these issues? Within the union. I know they have.
So right now you are against yourself.
I'm not against myself.
You are contradicting your own initial submission. You
How?
said, there's nothing wrong with going to court.
No. Listen. You didn't
No.
understand. I said there is nothing wrong with going to court, but I think they are protracting the court issues.
So there's something wrong.
Wait,
If you are going too much.
There's
something wrong with going too- yes.
There's something wrong if you are going too much.
So my
He said they
initial.
said they've been
So
sleeping
is
in
there
court.
something
is that
wrong if you are going too much?
There is, yes, it's becoming
But it's
too
still
much.
the same course they are going
This
to.
is what is
I thought you said
hurting.
you were cleaning.
There's nothing wrong.
No, this is what is
There's nothing
hurting.
wrong is regards to the rights.
Yes,
of
the
an
initial.
individual.
I mentioned
But
the
there's
Rascaleb
something
one.
wrong is up to the impact on the association.
Exactly, because it's being protracted. To me, for example, if it has to do with rendering of accounts and
But I have a question for you.
yeah,
It's very, very simple.
Yeah.
If you're an acting president, or you have like a team that has been put in place to be able
can't you
to,
do the work as a
like
president?
what are you there? No, like what are you there for? Isn't
I
it
understand.
to get the work done?
I'm okay. You're asking this because
Kwame says now they've been reduced to receiving awards.
No,
on-
that's what I'm saying.
on
That at the end of the day, if
platforms
they are
and
doing work, I don't
Because-
think that
because
the description
I
is
personally think that
is a,
as an
is a
acting
good
president, you're acting. You're supposed to do what the president should.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of
doing.
people acting in positions like acting,
And they're doing-
general manager, acting this, acting, and they are all working.
Good.
So, and-
But you also agree with me that when you are acting, especially at this point in time where you are not fully the president and you are also looking to winning an election and doing other things, maybe your focus may not necessarily be on doing the work as a president, but you have other things that you're looking at.
I'm not getting you.
You should get me.
You select yourself.
You didn't select yourself.
So the entire team
So-
is responsible
yes,
for the
so-
So
yes,
you are
so-
acting all right, but the systems and the whole thing, how do you call it, environment is not allowing you to perform as a president. You have
And-
constrictions. You have
so you are
constrictions.
acting, but-
You have people who are so critical of you who don't even really see you as president.
Now you be Mr. Simon.
No, but you see,
No, I'm
I mean, that's
I'm
the.
just- no,
exactly. Listen. Kwame does it.
From
I
where
think.
I'm sitting. From where I'm sitting.
Kwame.
That is how
Kwame,
I see
I
things.
I think it will be good to talk to maybe Mr. Simons to find out whether. What's the difference between an acting president? No, I'm just trying to.
I am
understand
assessing what
something.
he has done. I
No,
know
no,
he's made
I don't
steps.
wanna- I don't wanna look at
I know
it.
he's made steps, insurance and all that. But honestly, he's my uncle. I'm not impressed with his performance. And I'm not saying this to preempt decisions by anybody. I personally, and I've listened to their manifestos, both Rascaleb and Mr. Semmers. And honestly, I'm not so impressed with their manifestos as well.
So you
I would have wished-
nothing from this quarter's.
No, I would have wished. Let me
impresses
tell you, Mr. Simons has paid his dues as a musician. He's paid his dues as vice president of the union in the past. I would have wished we had a very new blood in this situation. Now,
Amidst all this drama,
I'm telling you,
want
let me
someone
tell you,
new?
Let me tell you, the very first time I read their manifestos, that was when it occurred to me that we needed other people. Now, other people in context. Richie Mensah was supposed to have run for first vice president. I was a bit comfortable at that point in time because I know Richie, I know what he's worth, I know what he can do, I know how innovative he is and all that. But at the point in time, he just pulled out because of the controversy. He didn't run again. Mr. Simons is a fine gentleman and all that. Rascaleb, I love these gentlemen, but I personally think that because the constitution is such a way that if you have not held any position in Musica, you cannot run for president. It's almost always the same people circulating. So that, Robert, if you have the knowledge, you have the power, you have everything to run for president, today and you're a Musica member, you can't run unless you've been given the chance to hold an executive position before.
All right, Kwame, I think you should wrap up.
The constitution needs to be reviewed.
Kwame,
the
does
Musica constitution needs to be reviewed because to me it's creating problems for the union, and I'm looking at the future of the union, not now. Not the court injunction.
Kwame Dazi.
The future of the union, without the constitution being reviewed, it's wobbly. And that is why we'll be getting all these problems and all that. Uncle Bessa, I'm not saying you're not good. Raskele, what I'm saying is that I'm not impressed. I think you could do better. Even
I think you've made that point, Kwame. I think you made that point.
So should I stop?
Yeah, host of showbiz A to Z. A to Z. What kasa A to Z? Oh, but you're not the one on the show. Mr. Mess Ajocho.
I had an interest in this topic, so it's not have even brought me.
Let's hear him speak.
Regarding the rendering of accounts, when Bessa was speaking, he said that.
He spoke for 10 minutes. Too.
Yeah. When Bessa was speaking, he said that. When Daddy Bosco was speaking, he said that. They had a conference in 2018. Mm-hmm. I think at that conference it was held that the rendering account must be done at conference, and conference should be held every 2 years. So after that of 2018, the other one was supposed to be 2020 or so. Since then, there has not been a conference. So it is until they go for conference, that is where they will render accounts. So they can't just render accounts anyhow until they have gone for conference. So the conference is where the challenge is. So I think their plan was that this, I guess, they will do it, and after the elections, they will go to conference and render accounts since the past administration left. So that is where they are at this point. And the injunction, when you go to seek an injunction, it is not automatic that it has happened, because the injunction must be heard before we can say an injunction has been placed on it. So this is they seeking injunction. That is why they will go to court on this injunction for the court to hear it. So whether the court will grant it or not, we are not there. We have not gotten there. So yes. That is why they are going to court on the injunction. If you go to seek, that is why you can go and seek an injunction and somebody will continue to do that. I think at times a lack of out of respect for the court, because injunction is saying that if you don't stop Martinez from doing this, I will be injured. So he's gone to court to say, hold him on. So at times it's just reasonable that since he's gone to court to seek that Martinez stops, Martinez will stop for a while. Then they will go to court and sit on the case to see whether what Martinez is doing is actually injuring you before they can grant or not.
So they could have held the election.
That by times, EC wants to place it safe. Okay. That's why, the NDC election, they were saying that if EC is pulling out, they will still go ahead and organize. So at times, it's an act of respect for the court. That is why when people go to seek just seeking, people decide to bar out.
So the court did not place the injunction.
Yeah, they are now going
The people sought injunction
from the court.
There's no injunction.
So the court is about to sit on the matter too.
So wait. So I'm just thinking, if at the end of the day, your reason is because accounts have not been rendered, and your constitution does not
expressly state
that without an account being rendered, you should not hold elections. And then it means at the end of the day, if they held elections,
nothing would have happened.
Yeah, because I'm sure the court will still use the constitution.
You clearly, that is why Daddy Bosco is so convinced that this will not stand. I mean,
I get you about
it could be the reason.
I get you about so convinced though. But the 60K that has been spent.
Spent on.
Money no day like that.
They allocated 60,000 Ghana cedis for the election.
That's that's what I'm hearing.
That's why I spent on.
Allocation is
allocation.
60.
Okay.
I mean
so they may have spent less or more.
The drawdowns are there.
They may have spent less or
more.
They can allocate, but maybe the drawdowns have not been done.
It could be 61,000.
No,
It could be 59,000.
so me, my issue again is I'm back to the money that's been spent. So
But
So
can I end? So
no,
that
it's all part of the.
It's all part of the end and the conversation.
I think for the image of Musica, I think this needs to stop at a point because this is not making them attractive. And one of the importance or advantages of having a strong brand is that you get people to affiliate with you. You get people to connect, do things with you. You get support, and your brand is able to, get you some dealings which can go to inure to your financial muscles. Now that you are having this back and forth, you are not becoming that attractive to be able to, because where is your equity now? You are not becoming that attractive for people to, look at what happened during the war time. How I was able to partner government, partner private individuals, companies to come out with certain policy initiatives from their quarters. You cannot, what is that space Musica is occupying in your heads right now? It is not that beautiful. And I think they really need an image cleansing. They should be worried by some of these things because it goes to affect them and it doesn't help them to get that strength to be able to carry out what we expect of them. I am really sad for Musica, where music globally, where people are trying to connect, where people are trying to, bridge certain barriers to take their music to the next level. We are still at this stage that for about 4 years, we've not been able to hold an election. Where do we have our piece to think about helping the Ghana music? Because you are number one stakeholders when it comes to the growth of Ghana music. And now, for 4 years, this is what you are thinking about. How are you thinking about the new dynamics in terms of doing music, festivals? Because Musica can easily get musicians on festivals, among other things.
And you government on other things.
Yeah, actually, you are not pushing any serious policy initiative to government to consider. Things are happening in Parliament without your even inclusion. With the communication service tax introduction, what did Musica even do? They didn't even care, not knowing that it can even go to head streaming among others. Are they really sensitive to issues affecting music? It really saddens my heart that we have a body like this, and for many years after former president left, you push the association to a certain point, then you bring it back to this point. It's quite, and Kwame clearly said, if you read both manifestos,
you say you wanted to write, so
I don't really see that things these crop of musicians will be proud about.
Robert?
AI.
No, it's okay.
Okay, sorry.
They said all the English.
They said all the English.
Martinez, quickly wrap up for us. Let's go.
It's sad, and I agree with Kwame that when it happens like this, the future of the musicians, being postponed 5 times, Charlie. I pray the Lord grant them wisdom.
Prayer in this matter.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. We need wisdom in everything we do.
The money will go waste.
So
wait.
Robert has issues with the money that is going.
It should be of concern.
Charlie, people are paying contributions. So people are
concern.
paying, and then
60,000 Ghana cedis.
So wait, so when they go to court, this court is about to go. No,
I'm sure they'll pay their lawyers.
They will pay their lawyers for their time.
Of course, they need to.
Wallahi.
So that's what if the lawyer will do that for pro bono. Fine. But
So that's what it means.
you
At
do
the end of
that?
the day, Charlie, I beg.
Martinez, quickly wrap it all up for us. It looks like this music issue.
Yeah, Charlie.
Martinez.
So like I said,
done.
Yeah, I'm done. I pray the Lord. In fact, they're serious. Lack of wisdom, Charlie, it will be
Let's
hard.
end with the good news.
With the good news. Now, Stonebwoy.
Let's end with the good news.
Stonebwoy has been featured by Bob Marley and the Wailers and Buffalo Souljah. Robert, I think you put the link out there first. Have you listened to the song?
Oh yeah, I've listened. Have you not listened to it?
Have you listened to the song?
I have. Have you listened to it?
I've not listened to the song.
Beautiful song. Track number 7, is it? Yeah, track number 7 on the Africa Unite project. There are 10 tracks in total. They featured multiple artists from Africa. Clearly, when you listen to it, you realize that they are giving extra life to Bob Marley's hit tracks. and they chose people from Africa. So it's like an Africa project. So Africa Unite, and it's also taking advantage, or let me say, it's utilizing the every benefit you can talk about with respect to Afrobeats going high, and they are riding on that to be able to speak his estate to the next generation. If you go and check how much Bob Marley's estate is worth, it's $500 million. No be joke. At the time that he died, I think it was reported to be about 11.5 million. Today, his 4 kids are managing, and the rest of the kids are part of the board. And this is how far they've gotten to. So, in as much as I'm happy that this is what is happening and all of that, I'm already thinking, what will we be able to do that for some of our high life legends? Eventually. So that's like food for thought. But reality is that Stonebwoy was on. Stonebwoy's verse was solid, conscious level. Buffalo Souljah, he gave a vibe. Like the vibe on it was just too much. At the end of the day, the likes of Nkrumah and all were given prominence in terms of mentions. I think everybody should listen to it. It's on that same album that you have Sarko. I think Sarko's song is number 8.
Yeah. Okay.
And it featured the likes of Pato Rankin, Ira Star, 2 people from Zimbabwe, Afrobeat from UK. A lot to Savage, quite a number of them.
For the benefit of those who haven't heard the song, this is Buffalo Souljah, Bob Marley, and the Wailers, and it features our very own Stonebwoy. That was music of Bob Marley, and it features our very own Stonebwoy. But hey, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, who's got the moolah, got the power? Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the game Park Games app on Play Store. And you can also play on the websites at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers 0 to 9. Now, Heritage Christian College is a university set up to provide a missing link in tertiary education, affiliated by 2K and USC, accredited by GTech, and we offer the following degree programs. The degree planes in nursing, information technology, information security, BA theology, and we're offering 12-month specialized master's degree program in accounting, accounting and finance, human resource management, professional courses, ICA, CIMG, CIHRM, and ICM UK, media short courses, and also many more. You can get all of this at Heritage Christian College, and this is the best school for you to be to. Now, Big Chef Tertiary, the kitchen has no boundaries. Big Chef is back, and this time is the maiden edition of the tertiary version. I think last week Friday I spoke to some of the chefs on the show. Charlie, you know, be small drilling, they drill them for the show top. So do well to tune in every Sunday from 5 p.m. on 5 p.m. at 5 p.m. I got pardon on Joy Prime, and repeat on Tuesday. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Big Chef Tertiary is probably sponsored by Fight Oil Cooking Oil, Fortune Rice, Syntex Tank, Niche Chocolate Drink, Access Bank, and You Fresh. Big Chef Tertiary, the kitchen has no boundary. Joy Prime, the ultimate experience. We'll be talking about the song very soon. Of course, a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, Phoebe had his show. But before that, guys, we heard the Bob Marley song. It features Stonebwoy. Your quick reactions on that, and let's go.
I think it's a good song if you understand how the song means a lot to Bob Marley.
Trip.
You appreciate. I mean, the delivery of Stonebwoy.
Yeah.
Bob Marley died in 1981, and this song was released in 1983. That is about 2 years after he died. And the Buffalo Soldier is, I mean, the first African American soldiers who were fighting in the Indian War, and people feel like it was the first time the Black Americans were being regularized into in the army, and they feel they were not given the right ammunitions to fight, and they were there to struggle for their life, struggle for survival. So if you listen to the theme of the song, it talks about Buffalo Soldier struggling for survival, and he wrote this with one of his Jamaican colleague musician, and they wanted to use the song to use it as a form of demonstration, but unfortunately he died, and after he died it was released 2 years after, and it became one of the first songs, or the album, I think the Confrontation album, it became the first song to be released after Bob Marley died, the first posthumous album which was released. And when Stonebwoy came in, you clearly see that he understands the theme of the song, because he's talking about, is it another plan where he believes the mentality or the intellect of African is being bought, and this is a struggle between China, America, UK, and Europe. And it's like, whatever we are doing, our leaders are doing Yawa and not leading us the right way. And he tries to, express that frustration in the song. And I think Bob Marley will be smiling in his grave when he hears it. And people believe that Stonebwoy is very good when it comes to roots reggae. And you know, the roots reggae, a subgenre of the reggae, which talks about the everyday life. It talks about the struggles of the African. And that is how he went in the song. And I think this is good for him, because if you look at brand strategy and managing brands over time, there is what we call the revitalization and reinforcement. I mean, that deals with having to protect your brand equity or capture some new brand equity. So this will help in helping Stonebwoy get to new markets, get to new lovers, and also, strengthen the love his fans have for him. Because when I read comments, among other things, it has rekindled the love his fans have for him, and it is winning him more markets. And that is the importance of reinforcement and revitalization of a brand. So big ups to Stonebwoy. Don't forget, recently, just this week, he's received. You have a lot to say on this song, billboard for his album, and also he's debuted on the American US Afrobeat chart at number 47, which is good for his brand. So I think he's entering more territories.
Come, Dazi.
It's a nice song. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the word so sweet. Martinez.
Charlie, I just want to see Stonebwoy perform this song on stage, how the feeling will be like. And when you listen to the couple of songs released on the album, I think the selections are well made. When you listen to Sarkodie on Stereo Up, Stonebwoy on this, Tenny and Oxlade, and Tiwa Savage on the others, you could tell that the songs given to them really suit them. And this is to pay homage to the reggae icons' greatest hits and to bridge the gap between the past and the present. And Charlie, the idea is very good. So,
great.
Stonebwoy, you remember Suit and Tie?
Yeah,
addressing issues like this as well as Rango. So I believe Nile Mupa. He's really
great. This weekend we are going to see the rerun of Dilemma of a Ghost, and Fifi Koma decided to come here today after how many weeks of finishing his first. Martinez, can you quickly switch seats with him, real quick? So Fifi Koman is here, looking all dapper as always. Welcome, boss.
Thank you.
Not always.
Well,
This one is beyond always.
it's
Okay.
What are we to expect this weekend?
Are you sure Stonebwoy is not part of the Willers? Are we very sure he wasn't part of the Willers from the beginning? We have to investigate this. That guy looks
Which
like...
year was he born? Let's calculate it.
We
Let's
should look into it.
Maybe one of
we should
you.
look into it. He sounds like he has been with him for a minute.
A minute.
Yes, a minute. Yeah, minute. It's been fun. It's been a great run in a show, and it's very productive and it's very successful, like this one just did. We give thanks to God for everything that happened on the night off. But then after the play, it's everything. This is a decision that I didn't even come to myself. I can tell I was coerced into making this decision from everyone who was part of the production. It's like, director, everybody's asking me again, director, what are we doing? Director, we need to meet. Director, so it's like, okay, fine. Okay, this is your cry, because I did, for me, what happened on the 29th was it. It was, I leave it there, I leave it there, and then we carry on from there. But if you want your show, that is your show, which is not, then you get your show, and this is on you people. And it's like, yes, director, because I can't help, like, the answering of questions as to when we missed it is just too much in my DMs, and we need to just bring it back. So, this Saturday, 2 shows, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. again. We're just running the same show, same cast, nothing. We try to be different every night as theater people. That's what we say, different every night. So there's something that you saw in the first you might not see in the second, but it's interesting. We say that to appeal to those who have even seen it before. If you come again, you will say, oh wait, is it the same thing I watched? No. You're going to see the same story, same lines, but something different about what you saw. It's an experience thing for us, so yes.
Great. And how much are you paying to watch the play?
Oh, it's simply 100 Ghana cedis. Simply. Yes, simply.
It's quite simple. it's quite simple.
Let's say your e-tickets are still the same short code as the one before, the star 711 star 11 star 33 hash. Again, it's star 711 star 311 star 33 hash. Yeah, I talk very fast. I know.
Slow down.
Okay, let's take
it's a short code, but it's not really a short code, so slow down for us.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's go. So for e-tickets, you still can get it on the short code star 711 star 11 star 33 hash.
Have you lost track? Star 711 star 11 star
33 hash.
33 hash.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Or you can pick it up.
So it's hash.
Hash. Yes.
I've been hearing ash.
Who's saying hash? Hey, I thought you said something.
Relax.
Relax.
So this weekend is all about Dilemma of a Ghost. I was there and I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure those who missed it, have the opportunity to go watch it this weekend as well. If you want to watch it again, just like Fifi said, there's something different about what's going to happen this weekend. Yes. Short code, or not too short code, is star 711 star 11 star 33 hash.
Yes.
Ash. So I think that's how we wrap up on the show today. Thank you so much for being my special guest on Daybreak Hitz. My name is Nana Kwamulabi. I did this for Dr. Uncle Daddy Andy Dusty, who wasn't here with us today. He's a little bit indisposed, but I'm sure you'll be here tomorrow to take his seat. A big thank you to our sponsors: Betway for the love of the game, Vodafone Ghana, Franco Trading Enterprise, MTN everywhere you go, Ghana AIDS Commission, EcoBank, Betway, Top Herbal Clinic, Access Bank, Away Purified Drinking Water, Cowbell Owl Milk, and of course Lunch Avenue. Mr. Hagler is up next with Music Box. Thank you so much to the entire team, Flying Mabo on social media and all